So really interesting afternoon for me because I'm at Crosby Police Station. Today marks the start of National Policing Response Week. So they're shining a light on response officers and what they do. So of course police officers dealing with 999 emergencies on a day-to-day basis. Every single shift, every single day, every single situation must be so different. Today we're going to get to go out with Craig, also Emma, in that van behind us and just see what their shifts are like. Get a little insight into a response officer here with Merseyside Police. Let's go. Just explain to anyone watching, what is your role? What is your role day to day?
Well, this is the beauty about response policing. From one day to the next, you don't know what you're going to be coming across, but it's our job to provide 24/7 cover. It could be anything from missing people, domestic related incidents, people in crisis, people having the vehicle stolen, whatever it might be, road traffic collisions, a whole manner of things. When you dial 999, the officers will respond and they'll get there as quickly and as safely as they can to deal with the incident, and that's when Emma and I will be called in.
You must wake up of a morning and you must be like, God, what is today gonna bring? That's the exciting side, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely, and especially when you first start this career, it can be daunting day to day. You don't know what you're coming into, but it is always exciting. You've got no idea what's going to come out, what that little voice on the radio comes out with next. You've got no idea.
Craig, you've been here for a long time, you were saying?
It's my final year within the police service. I've been a constable, a sergeant and an inspector within this role. I'm always drawn back to response policing. Some people look at you as if to say, you're old now, I'm in my 50s, why are you still here and doing it? I love the buzz, helping vulnerable people, that's right at the top of my priority. But yeah, it's a very interesting role, a very challenging role at times, but ultimately it's a very rewarding role as well when you're helping somebody who's vulnerable.
When you're on response, what's the hardest thing that you've got to deal with?
It varies on a daily basis, to be honest. The hardest thing is looking after yourself, if I'm honest with you. Yes, we do get to see some quite horrific things, some things that you wish you'd never see, but that's the nature of what we do. Unfortunately, I supervised the team and one of the officers was killed on duty, PC Dave Phillips. That was a very difficult thing to deal with. We're an organisation that's got well-being at its core as well, which looks after the staff, police officers and police staff. And that for me is probably the hardest thing you deal with on a daily basis. Not wanting to take that home to your families and things, but we have our own coping mechanisms.
Blue light is on, which you can hear above us. Instead of going at speed, you feel really comfortable, really safe. The officer driving. Call came through, there's been a disturbance somewhere. They don't know where they're going, what they're going to be greeted with when they get there.
The incident we attended was a male being aggressive outside a public house. He had a large dog with him. He was causing problems for the staff there, being aggressive and refusing to leave basically, so they've had no alternative than to call the police. We attended on a grade 1. Colleagues spoke to him outside. He's talking nonsense, clearly under the influence of alcohol. Given multiple opportunities to leave, he's refused. He's continued to be aggressive, shouting, swearing in the street, being aggressive towards us. So he was arrested for being drunk and disorderly in a public place and he'll be taken to custody.
This could be the first time he's been arrested. He will then get the necessary support. This is what we call about preventative policing. Outside agencies can come in, mental health services can come in and provide him with that support. So hopefully within the future he won't re-offend again or cause any further issues. And ultimately a vulnerable person, clearly he is, will get the support that he needs.
It really is so interesting to see how quickly they react, how calm they are, and just how they deal with this. They don't know what they're facing when they arrive. But yeah, back on the road, and it wasn't long before we got another emergency call.
We've received a call from a member of the public stating that a young boy had approached them and stated that they'd been assaulted by their dad. We've responded on an emergency to the location at which the boy was. The boy was being kept safe by members of the public. We've ascertained the level of injuries on the boy. We've spoken to the boy, we've safeguarded him, and then we've moved on to dealing with the criminal aspect. And we've ascertained the address of the suspect, we've attended the address of the suspect, and we've made an arrest. Especially incidents with children, it really does hit hard. I think when you're dealing with a role like response, where you are the first port of call for emergencies, possibly there's an expectation that you might not let things faze you. But I can tell you now, there is a hell of a lot of compassion in response officers for these type of incidents, and it is taken absolutely as seriously as it should be.
In terms of my role, it's classed as a domestic incident, so I have certain things that I have to do to make sure that the incident was carried out to best of our ability and correctly. So what I'd usually do is one of the officers would contact me and tell me what's happened, and I would review everything, decide whether appropriate action has been taken, and in this case it's an easy answer because someone's been arrested, that child's been safeguarded, and social services are now involved, and we're finding out the best place for him to go.
What's your kind of worst, what's your nightmare scenario?
Suicide, to be honest with you, I think they're horrendous for everyone involved. Obviously the family, what they go through, they're never going to get answers as to what's happened, why it's happened, and then the officers that attend as well. That situation, it's so emotional for everyone involved, and I've been to a number myself and I've never experienced anything like it. The grief and the shock of that sort of situation, I think they're the ones that I dread the most, if you like.
When you get in at night or after your shift, how do you turn that off? How does that not upset you?
I think it's something that you learn, to be honest with you. So I've nearly got 7 years experience now, and I wouldn't say that I'm feeling it any less, but I think you start to deal with it a lot more. With my role, I'll be able to help people, and that's what makes you come back every day. And all you have to do is ask for a bit of help, and it's always there.
Well, listen, I've found today fascinating. Thank you so much for having us. To finish up, what's your message to anyone watching about your job and about Merseyside Police?
Acknowledge that every officer is an individual person and they're going through different things in their own personal life, as well as trying to make the public's lives better when they have called us at a time of crisis. Just obviously appreciate that.
Thanks, Emma. Thank you so much. Keep it up.